Hey everyone, standing here in front of my 2010 BMW 335, what they call XI or 335 with I with X drive. Basically, it's all-wheel drive. Got other videos on here, with an intro all the way down to my engine details, with the built motor and all that stuff. So you can watch those if you want. But for this video here, probably the last one in this series for now at least, thought I'd just kind of, do what they call like a little bit of walk around or something like that. And here you can see, the BMS intake manifold I've talked about on other videos, which, is really cool for port injection, and the injectors are on top. Supposedly, it's a better atomization of the fuel and whatnot. I have a catch can. It's kind of unbolted right now. I just wanted to show everybody the pentiometers earlier, or however you pronounce that. That's those little things with the dials. You can adjust the amount of muffling that they do. As I mentioned in a previous video, for me that sweet spot was 30%. Eliminated the false knock I was having on this motor. Air intakes, of course. Just kind of wanted to show off the motor a little bit. This, as I mentioned earlier, it does have stage 4 race heads with titanium valves, full titanium valves, valve train. Forged pistons, JE forged pistons, Carrillo steel rods. That's one of the main things I wanted in built motor was forged pistons, steel rods. This motor can easily handle 35 to 40 psi, but right now I'm limited by my pure stage 2 high flow turbos. Man, if you told me, 3 years ago that I would have a motor at some point where the pure stage 2 high flows were the limiting factor on my motor, I would have gasped in horror because, back then, of course, the pure stage 2 high flows were, they were the big dogs on the scene as far as aftermarket turbos go. That you couldn't even get anything better than that. Who knows? Someday I might do a single turbo or something, but right now I just don't have any desire to do that. Be a big cost, you retune and all that. I'm just gonna enjoy the car. Like I've said in the previous video, this car is like scary fast, especially with the all-wheel drive. The tires barely spin at all. Even with this much power, I mean, you'll feel one chirp a little bit and then it'll catch. You'll feel another one chirp a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, it just takes off like a rocket. In first gear, traction isn't much of a problem because things happen so fast. You're not even hitting the really high boost levels, such as 27 and above. And then in second is really where I have the only gear that I have really hardly any significant wheel spin at all, and even it's not much. I mean, for the most part, it hooks up real well. I'm looking forward to dynoing this in about a month and a half. I go to Joe-Tech over in Garland, Texas. For those of you who saw the movie Zombieland, it starts out in, slight digression there. Anyway, Joe-Tech over in Garland, yeah, they have a really nice setup over there. So I'm going to take my car and get it dynoed here in about a month and a half. I'm really looking forward to that. I was actually pretty bummed when they told me that they weren't going to be able to get me in until then, because I really wanted to, get it dynoed before then. There's a couple other places that have all-wheel drive dynos in town, but I wanted to get it done at the exact same place I had my last dyno run, which was when I had the methanol injection set up, because at that time it yielded a little over 600, and I'm really hoping for close to 700 this time. I'm really hoping for that at the wheels on this thing. And so anything over 650 to me, I'll be more than happy. But I'm really hoping for close to 700, but that's kind of hard on most. That's kind of difficult to attain on most twin setups. You really starting to look for a big single getting that kind of power. But the whole single versus dual is a whole separate deal. But I just really like the torque, the low end punch that you get with these twins around town. It just makes driving and everything around town just an absolute dream. It's so torquey. It's just so fun to drive this thing. Sorry, had a little moment there. Anyway, so that's all for the motor right now. Kind of a walk around on the motor, and then after this, I'll do one of the car. The intake looks so nice. All right, see you soon.